Welcome, everybody, to the Gate Expectations podcast, where I bring in a weekly guest and talk all things Yu-Gi-Oh! And get to know a little more about each person I talk to. This is the only Yu-Gi-Oh! Podcast that is run by a full-fledged journalist, such as myself. This is episode 5. If you haven't checked it out yet, you can check out our earlier podcast with Penn God Stephen Trifanowski, Jesse Cotton, Jeffrey Lang, and Sam Aruna Vasiri, a.k.a. Team Samurai X1. My guest for this week is a former World Championship qualifier, a YCS champion, a multiple YCS topper, and he's arguably one of the hottest players in the past 2 years. My guest this time, Gabriel Vargas. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Hi, what's up?
Man, it's been a heck of a day for me. I've had quite a long day. I've got a weekend trip for myself, and I know that you just are fresh off playing a little bit of a weekly tournament online.
Yeah, I had played the PPG Weekly today.
Mm-hmm.
It was really unfortunate that it was BLAR legal when they didn't say it was BLAR legal and then changed it to BLAR legal. But fortunately, the only Zexal opponent I played against, I beat him somehow. So we take those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
other than that, it was a very successful day. I came top 8 and had an awesome stream. So yeah.
I know, and this is something that you've been doing like a lot since COVID-19 hit. That you've been having to just start like playing a lot more online and whatnot, and you've really taken off in the past little while. But before I get to that, before we dive in, you're actually the first guest that I've had on this podcast that I actually don't know too much about you on a personal level. Everyone else I have, you not as much. I mean, we've seen each other at regionals and whatnot and seen each other in passing. We said hi, like we're always cool with each other, but at the same time, we never actually sat down and had like a real conversation. So I think it's a good opportunity to just let everyone else know just kind of more about you on a personal level, just outside of Yu-Gi-Oh! First of all. So let's start with that.
All right. Should I just explain myself?
Yeah. So talk about yourself. Like how old are you? Where are you from? Like what? Like what are you going to school for? All that stuff.
My name is Gabriel Vargas. I am 18 years old. I'm turning 19 actually August 2nd, so very soon. Actually have a big stream planned for my birthday, which is going to be a lot of fun. I'm super excited for that. I grew up in Toronto, Ontario, my whole life basically. My mom's side is from Nicaragua, so I am part Latino. So a lot of people don't know this about me, but I can speak Spanish. So whenever I go to South American events, people always get really surprised when I just start speaking Spanish with my.
Oh, nice. Yep.
Yeah, so that's neat, I guess. I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! For I think almost 5 years now.
Yep.
It's been a wild ride. I couldn't see my life any different than how it is now. Like I couldn't imagine my life without Yu-Gi-Oh! Honestly, like Yu-Gi-Oh! Has become like such a pivotal thing in my life. It's opened so many options for me, and I'm just very happy to be playing this amazing game that I've fallen in love with. Yeah.
Well, let's go through this evolution of Gabriel Vargas, because I've played this game since I think 2003 I played this. So I played this game for 17 years, and I've accomplished a lot, but nowhere near the high caliber that you have in such a short amount of time. Again, like we've seen in the past 2 years, you've had at least 4 YCS tops, and then you won one of them, Niagara Falls, and then you won Worlds as well, which was a big shocker. And I think the whole country of Canada was so happy for you that
North America.
Yeah,
I mean the WCQ, not Worlds.
Yeah, sorry, the WCQ. My bad. Yeah, the WCQ. You won that one. I'm pretty sure that made all of Canada happy because
on Canada Day.
Yeah, which was
I won
huge.
On Canada Day. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're the first Canadian North American WCQ champion, which was a big thing because I always keep saying that the merger since Canada and US kind of mixed their worlds together, it was going to be harder for Canadians to get to Worlds. But again, we're breaking that that kind of status quo, and you're one of the players that have just completely just skyrocketed out of nowhere.
Yeah. Honestly, after kind of going the first time by accident. A lot of people don't know this, but I wasn't even supposed to go to that nationals. I had no intention of going.
Yep.
And then Thursday, before the event, my friend decided, I'm going, Gabe, come with me. And I before this, I wasn't going. He recently got his invite, I think a couple of weeks before, so he decided to go, and then he convinced me. One of my friends who doesn't even play Yu-Gi-Oh, she always would support me like through everything in life, and she was just like, Gabe, you should go. You'll regret it if you don't. And I'm like, I really don't want to go. Like, it's expensive, probably not going to do well. And then I showed up to locals Thursday, booked the plane ticket. Jesse showed me the Goki deck, and here we are. Like, the
best decision you made in your life.
Yeah, it really was. So after miraculously winning and going to Worlds, I really felt super comfortable in the game and decided I didn't do well at Worlds this year. I need to go back and do better. And that's why I worked so hard on the Worlds grind in 2019 to go back. Unfortunately, I didn't succeed in 2019 either, which is why I will be doing the Worlds grind again, because I need to get that top at Worlds. One time, just one.
So let's unpack some of this, because this is a lot that you had to go through, and this is pretty much kind of like the start of the Gabriel Vargas legacy that you've pretty much cemented yourself in the last 2 years. So tell me more about how the trip from going from Toronto to Fort Worth, Texas, which is where that WCQ was held, that you won. Kind of explain that whole entire process to me, like up until you actually winning the event.
Honestly, now it just feels like a lot of it's just kind of a blur. I remember because I wasn't very confident. I mean, I knew the combos and I knew what my deck did. And every round I would sit down against my opponent and we would roll dice and they would roll higher than me. And I would be going second. And every time they normal summon Trickster Candina, I realized, okay, I'm winning this game. I'm winning the match. And I would go on and win the match up until the point where I am in top cut, because I played, I think, 6 or 7 Trick Stars in Swift.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it's kind of just like when you find $50 on the ground, it's just your day,
Yep.
And playing against Trick Stars was just, I hate to say it, but it was the freest thing ever. Like, there was absolutely no combination of cards in their hand unless it was double reincarnation Droll, and in which case you had Call by the Grave for, and you could lose. Yeah.
Now, I know that you've been on the stream, I think once or twice at least during that whole Nationals thing, and I'm sure that a lot of people here haven't been in a feature match on the stream. So why don't you tell me what's that like?
So I actually always wanted a feature match, even before Nats. Whenever I went to a YCS that had feature matches, I would always request them, just so I have something I could look back at as a memory, because I always thought they were so cool.
Yes, they are.
And when I finally got my first one, I was in round 9, I think, of the NA. I think the NAWCQ was 10 rounds of Swiss, so I was round 9, and I got my first feature match. And I was so nervous. I remember being up on that stage. My friends were watching from the sidelines and supporting me. And I was just so nervous. I started misplaying. The game was just completely winnable. And I definitely should have won. However, due to a few misplays and quite literally just punting, I lost. Yeah. I didn't actually lose. It ended in a draw.
Okay.
But the draw basically cemented my top cut. So me making top cut, so it wasn't the worst case, just because I was already X1 going into day 2.
Yeah.
However, there was a lot of misplays. I was very nervous. And after that match, I was just like, holy, I can never play like that again.
Well, thankfully for you, the next day, it was completely different. Like, you were completely unstoppable that day. I remember seeing one of your feature matches. I forget who it was, but they set up an Abyss Dweller on you. And
that was the finals.
Yeah, and you were playing Gookie, but you just decided to tear through him anyway and just go all out on him, and it obviously worked, because 2 years later, you're still the champion, of course. So, tell me how that feeling of being in the finals of one of the biggest stages of Yu-Gi-Oh is.
It was really crazy. I feel like the biggest moment, though, was actually winning the top 8 match to go to Worlds. A lot of people don't know this either, because it wasn't a feature match or anything. But this is probably my craziest game ever. I don't know if we can if I explain it now, or I guess we can come back to the top 8, because I feel like that's worth talking about.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
But the finals was like, it really was a rush. Like the idea of like actually, like, first of all, you're already in top four. You're going to Worlds. Now you're playing for the title of be like number one, which is wild and something I would have never imagined. And have all your friends on the sideline there, it was something else. Like it was out of a movie.
Do you feel like? Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Just keep going.
And you just like you can look up and during the game I was just like looking at the side, all my friends, just like watching. And then I'm like, damn, I got this. Like this is my day, nothing can stop me.
Yeah. Like what a story that was too. And I remember I didn't go to Fort Worth, Texas that day, but I remember hearing back on everybody else. It's like, oh my god, we get Gabe Vargas from Toronto. He's in the finals. Like, oh crap. I'm like, we could actually have a Canadian, like North American champion. I was so stoked, and I was praying that you would get this because like I wanted this big for like not just for you, but also big for Canada as well. Because again, like we're a country that's kind of handicapped a little bit in being able to go to Worlds because of the whole merger that happened. So the second that you won, I'm pretty sure like all of Facebook just erupted. Like my feed was just nothing but, oh my god, Gabe Vargas won WCQ. So it was big news for you, for me hearing that, and like I barely even know you then. So like, I can only imagine how big it was for you once like you got that final hit in and won.
Yeah, my phone blew up that day. It was crazy how many notifications I got from everyone.
I can imagine that. Do you feel like there was more pressure on you playing in finals or playing in top 8 for that World?
Top 8. It was the top 8 match for sure.
Really? Go elaborate on that for me.
Okay, so I was already on a roll. So I'll give a quick summary of my top 64 run. So prior to this Nats top, which obviously resulted in the win, but prior to like even making top cut, I had a top 32 at YCS Toronto 2016. And then I didn't really play any events. And then I topped again in YCS Atlanta 2018 and YCS Costa Rica 2018. So like my first YCS top, I came first after Swiss by like I didn't even know how YCS worked, and I just came first. And then ever since then, I got my like first like feel for like the competitive scene, and I was addicted. I'm like, I need more of this. So I started playing more and more locals to the point where I got really good with pendulums. And then Electromite came out, and we all know how great Electromite was.
Yep.
And then I took that to Atlanta, and I took it to Costa Rica, but every single time I got top 32. So it was very frustrating for me, always doing well in Swiss, always guaranteeing myself in top cut, like never being on the bubble, but always falling short in top cut, always getting a win-a-mat, which is, unfortunate. So going into top 64 of Nats, I knew like I needed to win at least one, because top 64 of Nats is also just a win-a-mat.
Yeah.
At the top 32 is a prize card. So going to Nats, my goal was just get the prize card and leave. That's all I wanted. And so I sit down in top 64, and I'm told that I am playing against Goki. And I immediately realized, okay, this is going to be rough. And then game 1, he sets a card and passes.
Oh, wow.
And that was game 1. I killed him. And then game 2, he makes this all day, and I ash him, and he passes. And then I 2-0'd him, and I'm now in top 32. So that was, after that, my mind just went blank. I went on autopilot mode, honestly, up until the top 8. Top 32, I had a feature against a Paleozoic player, and it was very close, but I managed to pull that one through on feature. And that was a big win for me, because I'm like, okay, I'm not nervous on feature anymore. I got this. This is my day.
Nice.
Top 16, I sit down. My opponent goes special summon Junk Word, normal summon Aqua Dolphin. Do you know what that combo does?
No, you know what? I'm gonna pretend I don't know it, but explain it for everybody so that way we all understand.
So Junk Forward is an inherent special summon. It's a level 3 monster. Then he normals Aqua Dolphin, which is another level 3 monster. They're both warriors, by the way. But Dolphin looks at your hand and destroys a monster if it has like less than 900 attack. So he was able to look at my hand and pitch my Ash Blossom. So he was able to full combo through that by just looking at my hand, destroying the hand trap, and go full Goki combo me. So you'd imagine that's a pretty bad start to the top 16, losing game 1 to, the die roll and him pitching your hand trap. So it was already looking bad in top 16. And then so I scooped that game, go to game 2. Game 2, he hand traps me, but like I kind of outplayed him. I kind of like bluffed to play, and he played into my hand. He played into what I wanted him to do with a Ghost Joker, so I was able to end on a firewall with 2 bounces, and he wasn't able to play through that. And then on the follow up, I killed him. So now we're going game 3, and he's going first. So it's obviously very bad for me. So he does the same play, special junk, normal dolphin to look at my hand. But instead, this time he saw an impermanence and he can only pitch monsters. So when he made the invoker and he got imperm, he passed turn and I killed him.
Oh, yeah.
It was my card. It was like, so the reason I won that game, because I made, the decision to play imperm over another monster like Ghost Joker. If it was Ghost Joker, I probably would have lost.
Yep.
And it's like the decisions like that got me there. So yeah, I was very happy in that moment to be playing imperm because of Dolphin.
Yeah.
So that was the second Goki mirror now in Top Cut that I won, going second, and all my friends were like losing their shit after that game, because now I'm in top 8 playing for Worlds, and it was so big in the moment. I totally forgot about this, but Jesse at locals, because he was guaranteed to go for Worlds this year, because there wasn't a points playoff, there were just the points, and he was already guaranteed. So I at locals it was called Royal Club Games at the time. He said. I told him, like, yo, Jesse, what if I go to Worlds? And he said, in your dreams. And then here I am playing for Worlds, and I'm just like, oh, this is it. And then I realized I'm playing another Goki mirror. And I realized, well, I had a great run. At least I got the prize card. We sit down, he full combos me game 1, game 2, I full combo him, and now it all comes down to game 3. And this could have, if I made the split decision, my life as I know it could probably be so different. Like, I probably wouldn't even be playing this game anymore, because prior to this, I wasn't even sure if I wanted to continue playing.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
But he's going first. I look at my friend, a very close friend of mine. I'm still very close friends with him to this day. He was, along with my other friends, he was sitting on the sidelines just watching me, supporting me. Game 3, he goes first, summons 2 monsters. I Ghost Reaper him, thinking I'm okay. Good start. He then proceeds to use a hand of all extenders, 5 extenders.
Oh,
and
wow.
He U-locks me. And the Goki mirror can actually break the U-lock. However, because I didn't scoop, he thought I had like a Kaiju or something in my hand. But what was going on in my head as he was U-locking me, because I know myself I cannot break the U-lock, I looked over at my friend. His name's Joe. I looked over at him, and I just gave him like a little face. And then I told myself, okay, you're going to concede here. And I was so close to giving them the hand. And my friend just mouthed, no, keep playing. So I didn't concede. I didn't concede. I'm pretty certain, because I did not concede, my opponent psyched himself out and figured I had something to break the U-lock, such as a Kaiju. Yep. So what he decided to do was make Gumbler. However, he misplayed, and because of his misplay, he wasn't allowed to have the Tri-Gate negate. So he Gumbler to rip my hand away. However, at locals, Jesse actually said the reason, it felt like a scene out of a movie, because like so many thoughts were coming in my head from the past that like led up to this moment that I felt like allowed me to win this like game. When we were at locals and we were talking about Gumbler the Thursday prior to the Nats, Jesse said the reason why Gumbler's not good in the Goki mirror is because with one Goki, if you have a Goki in grave, you can normal it, crash into a monster, add a rematch, activate rematch, summon the 2 Gokis from the grave, and combo off. Yep. And because Jesse said that, after he because I Reapered him and he ripped 4 cards with Gumbler, I had 1 card in my hand. I went normal summon Super X, crash, and I comboed him.
Oh, wow. So it seems like Jesse was kind of, not like digging his own grave per se, but he was kind of helping you in a sense that when he wasn't kind of trying to, because, he said, good luck to you going to Worlds, and yet he's here helping you out, and it turned out that you got yourself to Worlds because of his advice. Which is really funny.
I mean, he never meant it. Like, he never meant it in a malicious way. It's more of just banter. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
It's banter.
Yeah. Because I know that you guys have like collaborated a lot together, and I'm assuming that he's played like a bit of a role in your development in this game and how you've been able to be so skillful and one of the top players of today.
For sure. Having him on my locals, I've been playing against him my whole life almost. Like I remember when he was just topping YCS, and I would I had a really good record against him at locals. I would feel really good because I knew how good of a player he was. But yeah, that game was so crazy to me because after it, when he offered, so it gets even crazier. I don't know how in depth I should get, but I basically begin to play, and I give him a turn, and he activates. He gets a turn. So basically, what I did after the Goku rematch to like begin breaking his board, I broke a majority of his board. However, I couldn't do everything, so I needed to get one more turn. So not only did I break his turn, but my Gokis were able to float to recur my hand, so I could play again next turn, which he didn't have. He had no cards in his hand.
Yeah.
So I basically passed, knowing all he would do is attack me and like pass back. However, he set a card, and on my turn I drew, and he activated a pointer of the Red Lotus, which is not popular at the time. It's actually very popular right now, but it was not popular at the time. And he banished the Super X in my hand, and because do you know Super X specials a Goki out of the hand?
Yeah, it's the normal summon that special summons another Goki out of your hand. Yep.
Yeah, so that was my starter, and without Super X I couldn't play. So I said, I was about to concede. Then I said, wait, don't you need a card with a point to reveal with a pointer? Mm-hmm. And then he says, no, you don't. And then the judge came and said, yes, you do. So I got the Super X back, and I realized, and I know this ruling because it came up in a Facebook post, and that's the only reason. Otherwise, he would have won. He would have won. This was another moment where I would have conceded. And we got him in a time extension there. And then I made my play. I began to combo. I broke even more of his board. I set up an interruption. However, I had to, because I was down in life points, because the first turn I had to crash, and he did more damage on the second turn. He was now up in life. So I left him with no field, and he basically drew another card for his turn again. Obviously, the opponent is still set on his field. He basically has nothing. And he looks at me. He's like, that's time, right? Because he looks at the time. He's like, that time. Oh. I said, we have a minute extension, pass turn, and that's game. And he said, yep, you got it, and shook my hand. And then I kind of popped off with my friends. It was a crazy moment.
Wow. It seems like you just had like some big memory that kind of kicked you out of nowhere to kind of keep you in that duel.
It was, my friend was like, don't scoop. I didn't. And then the whole Jesse telling me the Goki beats Gumblar definitely helped. And then remember the pointer ruling. Otherwise, I definitely would have lost because no judge caught it until I mentioned it. So that was definitely a crazy moment. And to like actually achieve worlds at like, I was 16 at the time. It was so crazy.
Yeah, so let's go more into that because first of all, going to Worlds at 16, being a champion is crazy. Like you get a lot of people, a lot of players like we know around like are playing around like their low mid 20s, like even into like late 20s, in the 30s. They're around the 20s area somewhere. Like I'm in my early 30s, so that's one thing. You're winning it at 16, which is something that like so many of us will be like baffled. Like we would never even think that we'd be able to do well on. And you're going to Worlds at 16. I remember that you brought Sam, Team Samurai X1, along with you to Worlds. I asked him about it, but now I got to ask you, how did that all come about?
Sam, so I like my relationship from Sam from the start.
Yeah, so let's just talk about like your relationship with Sam, and then let's go into how you decided to ask him to be your guardian for going into Worlds.
Mm-hmm. So when I started playing this game, I did what everyone else does and look up deck profiles, and I would watch his without knowing who he was. I would just watch it. I used to play Elemental Heroes when I was 15.
Yep.
15. So I would just look them up and say, hey, this is a good list. I would build it and take it to locals. One day, I play against this guy, and I ask, your voice sounds really familiar. And I'm like, do I know you from somewhere? And he says, I feel like you're using I feel like you've seen my deck profiles before. And I go, oh wait, that's you. And then because I had no idea who he was, I had no idea he was from my city.
Yep.
So after that, we just started playing at locals more and more, and I got to a point where I was pretty good, and I just started winning every single week. I remember when do you remember 401 locals when they were popping? They had they had very good prize support. Like winning one gave you like 11 OTS packs.
Oh wow, okay.
So every Friday, every Saturday, I would just win them back to back. And Sam said, let me get your deck profile." And you can find it. I have greasy ass hair. I was a child, and I did an odd eyes deck profile. And yeah, that's how me and Sam became friends. Because after that, he was always like, "Dude, everyone loves you. We need more odd eyes deck profiles. Give me your updated list every couple months." And we kept on doing that.
I think you had the bleach blonde hair at that point in time.
No. That was the bleach was actually after Nats.
Oh, after. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
All right.
That was when I won YCS Niagara.
Okay, got it.
It was for a short while, yeah.
Did you also go to Dolly's Cards and Games too? Because I know that's where Sam plays.
No, he was only playing. He was actually, I don't know if he was only playing at 401, but I actually never went to Dolly's up until like more so recently.
Oh, okay, got it. So 401 Games was the local then. What's your local now?
I play at ANC Games and Dolly's Toys and Games and Game Nation. Those are the three that I play at, really.
Oh, okay. So let's fast forward now a bit. So how did it come for you that you decided to ask Sam to go to Worlds with you?
Yeah, so like ever since the whole deck profiles, we just became friends. I kind of had a not really persona, like a character, not like a character. People just knew me on his channel as the Odd Eyes player, and people always wanted more Odd Eyes deck profile. A lot of people were fans of the deck. It was like a rogue deck at the time, and people just really enjoyed the content that me and Sam were able to put out about the deck. Mm-hmm. So then came August 2018, not August, February 2018, I believe, when Electromite came out. Sam knew I was big on Pendulum, so he said, like, "Gabe, I need a list." And then I gave him an updated deck profile with Electromite, and I told him I'm going to go to YCS Atlanta. I'm going to go to the US for the first time for YCS. And he was like, "No way, me too." So at this point, we're good friends. Like, we've hung out quite a bit. Like, we know each other. He let me stay with him one night, and we ended up grabbing food, and we just hung out, and we just became pretty close. And then another event happened. It was YCS Memphis in 2018. We roomed together again, and we just started hanging out more and more, traveling to events more and more. Mm-hmm. And at YCS Memphis, in the hotel room where Jesse was basically guaranteed, as a joke, I just said, "Hey, Sam, if I ever go to Worlds, I'm going to bring you with me." So obviously, when I made it to Worlds, I said, "Sam, we're going to make the best vlog on YouTube ever." And then I took him with me. We made the what it's like to go to compete at the world championship. And it was, to this day, people still talk to me about that vlog. That vlog was so fun.
But before we go to that, I just want to ask one thing. Mm-hmm. How did Sam react when you told him that you were going to take him to Worlds? You should have seen
the it happened, man. After I won, I jumped. We started a fucking sorry, my bad.
No worries.
we started a pile, like what's the word, like when the crowd just starts popping off.
Oh, a dog pile, or no? Not
a dog pile. Everyone started dog piling. I mean, I didn't actually get flattened or anything, but we all just started hugging each other and jumping up in the air. It was hype after that.
Yeah.
Sam was screaming the entire time. He actually, in the deck profile, you can hear he has no voice because he was screaming during the entire time. And he already knew. I told him, I'm like, if I ever go to Worlds, I'm taking you. So he knew. And I think that's why he lost his voice, because he started screaming so much.
Hey, I would lose my voice just to go on a trip to Japan. I would totally do that one. So let's go to that now. Let's get your side of the story on how was going to Japan for Worlds for the very first time.
I'm just gonna say I have a big regret about that trip. I was 16 at the time.
Yep.
I was kind of a stubborn brat. If I saw food that like looked gross or that I haven't tried or know I liked, I'm like, ew, I don't want it.
Oh no!
And at the time, I have never tried sushi.
Really?
And I would look at sushi and I would think raw fish, disgusting. So my biggest regret in life so far is the fact that I went to Japan for free and did not have a single bite of sushi.
Oh,
In fact,
man.
the one that we had a meal, they gave us, they took us out on a tour, and during the tour, they took us to a super nice Japanese restaurant. You have to take your shoes off and everything. Like, it's super nice. I said, Sam, do you want this? I don't like this.
Oh no!
Biggest regret to this day, because now sushi is my favorite food. Like, I will have it at least twice a week now. Like, I love it to death.
It's one of my favorite foods, and I can completely understand your regret now.
Which is why when I go to Japan next, because I do plan on going, whether it's for Worlds or I know I'm going back sometime soon.
Yeah.
I am going to eat so much sushi. I'm going to have I'm going to try all different kinds. I'm going to go to the most expensive sushi place that I can in Tokyo. That is my goal in life at the moment.
Well, I know that's Sam's also like a big food influencer as well. So maybe you should kind of get him to maybe handle some of the funds for that big trip, because it's like, hey man, I did bring you to Worlds for free, so least you could do is pay for like a big sushi meal for me.
Nah, he's helped me a lot. I don't need to ask for that.
Great guy, though. I love being around him. We actually went to a wedding together. We went to Bo Tang's wedding 3 years ago.
Oh yeah.
So that was really fun that we did it. So it's just a fun little anecdote between him and myself. But man, what else did you do when you were in Japan?
We went to Akihabara. I did a lot of shopping there, gift shopping for people. They took us on a tour, and I can't remember where exactly, but we went to a mall, and the mall had like a lot to see, like a lot. They had like a Poke Center. Yep. And there's just so much stuff regarding anime, and like Sam definitely enjoyed it a lot more than I did the anime part, because I wasn't too big into anime like I am now. Yeah. But there is this area that was like made to like be designed as if you were in like Naruto.
Oh, like, really? Wow.
Have you watched Naruto?
I'm not like the biggest Naruto fan. I only know like of it in bits and pieces. But okay. But go ahead.
Imagine you are a big Naruto fan and you get to like be in, I think it's called the Hidden Village or something, which is I think big for the series. And you get to like, they even have their own restaurant that like is in the anime. So it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool for Sam. But yeah, we did a lot. I think we spent most of the trip shopping, honestly. Like, there was so much cool stuff we could buy there that we cannot find here. Like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Wise too, they had so many different products that we just never seen before, so we just bought all of it.
Mm-hmm. Did you actually have some of the Naruto like style ramen? Because Sam said he did. I don't know if you had.
I don't think I did. I think it was one of those foods that I was too scared to try.
Oh, really? Oh, that's a shame, because I love ramen, first of all.
Yeah, I've only had one bite of ramen in my life.
Oh, really?
So it's something I definitely need to try. Me and my friends actually had this talk where they were like, "What? You've never had ramen?" I'm like, "Nope." So that's something on our to-do list after COVID with all my friends for sure.
It's also Naruto's also, I don't know if you know this, it's that little fish cake that you see in the ramen that's like white and has like that pink swirl. They also call that Naruto itself, which is a cool little fact. Yeah, I'm also a big foodie as well, and I told Sam I could go on for like 2 hours just talking about food with him. But yeah, that's a fun little fact for you there. So if you ever go back there and actually try the ramen there, you can pick up that little fish cake, and it's called the Naruto.
Got it. But yeah, we spent a lot of the trip like shopping, I feel like. Mm-hmm. And obviously I was playing the tournament, so Sam did a bit more sightseeing than I did.
Yep, of course. And how was that being on like the biggest stage of Yu-Gi-Oh?
Oh, it was so stressful, man. The first time it was so stressful. Round 2, I got a feature match, And, things were doing really well. I was playing great. And then game 3, I just opened completely unplayable. And I'm like, well, I guess that's a loss. So and then game 3, this is a match that I'm not proud of. Game 3, we're near time, but there were turns in time.
Yep.
So I think turns began, and we were the last match, and there were about I want to say 6 judges just around my table, and I had game on board. Well, I had a line of play that was most definitely game, and I didn't make the reads that I should have, and I just played the hand poorly, and I just misplayed because I got so nervous. So that was unfortunate.
It's a little nerve-wracking for you to have that many judges kind of surround the entire table watching you play.
Because I feel like I can't misplay, and then it psychs me out into misplaying. It's stressful. It's not even it's not even that they're judges. It's just there's 6 people just right behind you, just watching you every single action. It's kind of weird and unsettling.
Is that also the same? Is that also the same for you? When you're on stream as well, that that hundreds and thousands of people are also watching you on stream?
I feel a little more comfortable now, more than I was at Worlds.
Yeah.
So probably not anymore. I think I'm fine now. I don't get as stressed out or nervous as I used to.
I mean, when you get on camera enough, it comes secondhand to you, I suppose. I can't say the same for that as far as a Yu-Gi-Oh camera goes, but I can at least say that in my background at least. I'd love to get in your position sometime. I've had feature matches before, but not on stream. They're only written out feature matches. So, but then you went back to Worlds the next year because you got it on playoff points. So now that was in Berlin. Now compare that trip to the year before.
This was a grind. The 2019 Worlds, my grind for Worlds was something else. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. It was it's so mentally draining at times, and it really is difficult. And sometimes you don't know if you're gonna make it. At one point, I fell behind because I went to a wrong regional. By choice. I decided I was so stressed out playing regionals every weekend, and I mean every single weekend, back-to-back regionals.
Yep.
It's almost 16 to 20 rounds of Yu-Gi-Oh! And back-to-back. It's a lot.
It is.
And I was so stressed out, and there was another double regional in some of the biggest cities where the biggest tournaments. So Philadelphia and Columbus, which are 64 points, and both actually were 64 points, I believe. And that's huge. If I went, I was guaranteed. However, the same weekend in Montreal, there was a regional which was guaranteed to be smaller, but it was close by, and I would be going with my friends. And I decided to go with my friends because I knew it would be a lot easier on myself if I did that. And I decided to do that because I knew how much I would enjoy that trip. And I actually vlogged it, and it was I think it was my first vlog. And I guess I don't regret going just because it really was an amazing trip.
Yep.
But I made it a lot harder on myself for actually making the top 16 in points because I went to that regional. But thankfully, I ended up topping the YCS Knoxville. I got a lot of points from that. I think I became 5th after Swiss. But if it wasn't for that YCS top, thankfully I did super well. I was just playing one of the best decks in the room. I was playing Danger Thunder when everyone was on Sky Striker and Salomon Great, and those were both free matchups. Thankfully, I was able to get enough points to guarantee a spot in the top 16, of the points playoff. And otherwise, I would have had to do a lot more regionals the last week and have to fly out a lot. And that just would have been even worse. So, yeah, it was very stressful. I also started a lot later than other people. So to actually making the top 16 there was quite an accomplishment, I feel.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure you had a deck profile with your Danger Thunder that was featured on Yu-Gi-Oh's blog website when they do all the coverage, too.
I think that was for the one that I actually won the points playoff with.
Okay, right. So yeah, so And not a lot of people get to play those points playoffs. So how was that for you?
It was an experience. The reason why it was so hard, I feel like, was because you're in the top 16 with a lot of players
Mm-hmm.
and you really just have to build your deck for 3 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like me and Jesse made the best decision to play the decks we did,
Mm-hmm.
because everyone played average decks, but no one really innovated anything besides me and Jesse. They just played consistent decks that kind of countered each other. So I feel like the only way they were ever making it to the top 2 were if they got lucky and got paired against their best matchups. For example, there was a lot of Orcus, there was 4 Orcus, 8 Striker, 2 Thunder, 2 Salad, 1 Altergeist, and 1 Goki deck. I think that's 16. I'm not sure. Somewhere around those numbers. But a lot of people just played what they knew, which was Sky Striker, which is why I knew there would be a lot of Sky Striker, which is why I played Danger Thunder. And I was very fortunate to be one of the only 2 Danger Thunder players in the top 16.
Yeah, because Thunder inherently has a good matchup against Striker because they search so much and Colossus just completely destroys them.
Mm-hmm. It had a decent Orcus matchup. It was 60-40 in favor of Thunder, and it had a free Salamangreat matchup.
Mm-hmm.
And actually and another hard part about it is you're playing against your friends. At least for me, I was playing against my friends. I guess you can make it in the top 16 without really knowing anyone, but I was good friends with the majority of the people in the top 16.
Yeah.
So it's tough, we're playing for Worlds and you're playing against people, and you don't want people to get upset or anything, but sometimes that just happens, because people work really hard for this.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's very stressful. I do feel like making it to Worlds 2019 was the hardest thing I've done. Actually winning the top 16 was, it was a bit of everything. My whole experience on the World Grind taught me so much more about the game that I didn't know. And I think all that led up to me making the correct decisions in deck building when it came to picking my deck, the tech choices I made. I played the deck very differently. I actually built my list to counter Jesse's because Jesse's list.
Yeah.
And because I kind of guessed it because I knew what one of his friends were playing who played it at locals. So I said, this is a good strategy. I believe Jesse's going to play it. I'm going to build my deck to counter what I believe the other best deck in the room will be, which was actually Jesse's. Luckily, we were on different sides of the bracket, so I never got to play against him.
Thankfully.
I do believe I would have indeed smashed him. So yeah, top 16 started. I was playing against Wilson. Great player. He was playing Salamangreat. Unfortunately, he didn't open too great, and I was just able to do Thunder Guard Dragon things both games. Salamangreat giving you the zone, can't really stop Guard Dragons, and that matchup is very much in your favor.
Yeah, Guard Dragons have openings. And I played against them several times, and I played Salamangreats a bunch. And if you don't have like a series of hand traps against them, it's near impossible to stop in my mind. So again, I definitely say that matchup is absolutely in your favor, and I feel bad for Wilson on that regard.
Top 8, I played against my friend Dominic Couch.
Yep, great guy.
It was another sweep. Honestly, it was my day. I went first. I opened pretty well. I was able to play full combo through Impermanence, and he conceded. And then game 2, I drew Gamma Lancia, and Orcus can't play through Lancia, let alone Gamma.
Yeah, a double hand trap, and they can't banish. Yeah, they're screwed.
Yeah, and then the top 4, which is the game for Worlds, I was playing against another friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, Zach Stone, who was playing Sky Striker, and I won the role and full comboed him game 1, and then game 2. I summoned a Spell Canceller against his Striker deck.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's how I won the top 16 playoff.
Very nice. So would you say that it was like really taxing, like mentally and physically, to have to travel out like practically every weekend to go like play in a different regional just to get all these points?
A lot of people think it's easy. I am telling you, it is the opposite. It is one of the hardest things you'll ever do.
And I can imagine that, being like a regional guy myself, and I always usually play to almost the end of every regional because like I'm usually in contention for it for the most part. But like most players, like they kind of duck out. Like when I drop, they kind of duck out. Like I'm gonna go do something else. I'm gonna go eat. But like going through like 8-9 rounds in one day, like with a lot of high pressure situations, is really like a toll on your brain, especially if you haven't had anything to eat during that time. I can only imagine how it is for you when you do these events.
And it's worse because you have to do it again the next day.
Yeah, like I don't know how you are when you get like hangry or anything like that, but like do you like eat a little bit like here and there, like in between regionals or like during the regionals, I should say?
If I do it again, I definitely will be bringing more snacks along. But what I was doing was eating breakfast in the morning and then eating dinner at night.
Okay, so you at least have something in the morning to at least like have like a heavy breakfast or something, so that way like you won't be that hungry during the event.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad, but yeah, you definitely are definitely hungry, and you definitely need to eat after these regionals because they go on for a long time sometimes.
They definitely do. That's like one of my favorite things to do after an event is over is to go out and have like a really big meal.
Oh yeah, I love going especially like on the World's Grind. I actually have some really cool stories from the World's Grind.
Yeah, go right ahead, man.
I'm going to tell you one of my favorite stories in my life.
Yeah, go right ahead.
So obviously playing this game, you make a lot of friends.
Yep.
And one of the friends I met was Tommy Williams. I guess his real name is Thomas Williams. And we just knew each other because we were in the same circle on Facebook. Like we had the same friends. We tested together. And the very first regional was in Rochester, New York. And he was there and we did well. We got a few points. We were both doing it.
Yep.
And he was like, "Why are you going to another regional?" which was the next day. And I said, "No, I was planning on going back to Toronto." He said, "We have a spot in our car. Why don't you come with us, play the regional, and then fly home after?"
Oh, wow.
And I immediately thought, that's crazy. No. And then another person who I sort of knew, I was friends with him, and he was my age, or he's actually a year older than me, and we're cool. And he says, just come to New York with us after. We can hang out. And then I'm like, dude, this is crazy. I'm not doing this. And he said this at the beginning of the regional, actually. So we started talking after the regional, and I'm like, you know what? More points does sound nice. It's going to be a big regional. It's probably going to be fun. And he's like, I have a place. You can just stay at my place in New York after. We could just hang out. And I said, I've actually always wanted to go to New York. So I decided, sure, hopped in their car, went to the regional, got a few more points, and then went to New York. And actually, this is at the point where I realized I forgot my passport in the other car that I
Oh, no.
to get to Rochester, New York in the first place. And basically, I ended up staying in New York at my friend's place for about 2 weeks.
Yep.
But it was a mistake, but it was a good mistake. Like, it was a great mistake. That 2 weeks in New York, like, we just hung out all the time. We were doing whatever. We went to locals. I met a lot of cool fans there. And we just did whatever we want. We were just like, we would always meet up, go see movies, and we just had like such a great time. And it was all because like I didn't expect to be in New York for 2 weeks, you know. Did a little shopping, went thrifting in New York City. Like it was a dream almost. And then after that, I had the passport shipped to my friend's house, had my passport. I changed my flight because there was a UDS in Vegas that was coming up. So I decided I'm just going to fly from New York to Vegas and then from Vegas back home. So after that, I was in Vegas for about a week almost. So I went from 2 weeks in New York to a week in Vegas, and it was such a trip. And I owe that to the World's Grind because I would not have ended up there for sure.
I mean, you're doing this all. You're still a minor at the time, if I recall correctly, when all this was happening.
I was 17.
Yeah, so it's a completely different experience going to all these places that you're going to as a minor as you would as an adult, as I've been for an adult for 14 years now. So, how would you spend your time when you went to Vegas?
Oh, unfortunately, I can't do too much there. uh, yeah, we just hang out a lot. I guess. Like we just find stuff to do. And this year, when I went this year for YCS Vegas, I was working out. We were hanging out at the pool. We were vlogging. We went out for some crazy dinners. I'm talking like holy dinners that fucking you look at life differently after these dinners, man.
Like, did you the big expensive buffets?
We went to this Thai restaurant that was so good.
Yeah.
So good. What else? Where else did we go? I can't remember now. We went to this amazing Thai restaurant like twice. Where else? Oh, we went to Gordon Ramsay's restaurant.
Oh,
one of his restaurants.
Beautiful, wonderful. And I think it's a burger place there, is it not?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Yeah.
She has two. We went to the burger place. Best burger of my life.
What was on that burger?
I can't remember. I'm pretty sure I got a basic one just because I didn't want anything too crazy. But I think Sam got like one with like so much bacon or something on it. It was so much bacon.
Was he vlogging all this too for his other channel?
He vlogged, but I think I vlogged a bit more. I don't know if he vlogged the burger, the restaurant. I could be wrong.
Oh, okay, got it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was one of the events I started vlogging again because I sort of I vlogged one trip, which was the Montreal trip I talked about earlier, where I like lost points by not going to the other regionals.
Yep.
But it was a great video. It kind of started this passion I have for filming, and the vlog in Vegas, like a year later, basically cemented that. Which is now I finally realized what I want to do, and it's vlog my Yu-Gi-Oh trips because I have so much fun just filming these and being able to have these videos to look back on is going to be so great in 10 years.
So what got you into vlogging? Because I'm on your channel right now and I see that you haven't put a whole lot up there, and you didn't start you started with just a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me more about your channel then.
I did the vlog at the start of the World's Grind, well, like midway through the World's Grind. Mm-hmm. And then I actually filmed the vlog in the Montreal trip, and it was so much fun. And then I tried to vlog more, but I think with all of the World's Grind happening, I was a little stressed out, and I just couldn't, bring myself to do it. But I finally, got the courage to pick up the camera and have some fun, and that's what I did during Vegas.
Yep.
And that's when I realized I'm going to be doing this at every event, but unfortunately, I haven't had an event since.
Yeah.
But during quarantine, I actually started making a few more videos, which is why I have a few videos up from during quarantine, which have done very well. The videos have done very well. I made a few Sky Striker videos that have popped off because Sky Striker's seen a lot of success, and I kind of called it.
I'm really giggling at the Photoshop jobs that you've done for all your thumbnails for your videos.
Oh yeah, they're great. They're great. They're mandatory.
It's like yourself on a bunch of Disney Disney real life shows, which it's kind of funny. I'm seeing Sam right now as in a Nickelodeon show.
I think he's as a female.
Yes, it is. He kind of looks a little funny with pigtails on.
Just saying, I could do a lot better thumbnails, but I think these thumbnails do much more justice than any professional-looking thumbnail could ever do.
Well, that's kind of like part of your trademark as well.
Exactly.
Is doing these quote-unquote terrible photoshops, but that's what makes it so funny. That's what makes it so entertaining. I mean, the first thought when I looked at these, I'm like I had a big chuckle because I know pretty much everybody that you've done. I know I see Ryan, I see Triff, I see Sam, I see Marcaris. Love saying his name, by the way. And I know these guys, and I just laugh when I see it all.
Yeah, I love the thumbnails so much, man.
But this also isn't the only online presence that you put forward for yourself. You also have you've also done a lot of Twitch as of late.
Yeah, so it's honestly changed my whole perspective on like what I want to do, and like I'm pretty sure I just want to be a content creator. It's been about I want to say a month, maybe a month and a week now, coming this Saturday.
Yep.
So it's either a month this Saturday or a month and a week. But I've been streaming for about a month now, and it's been crazy. The amount of like how fast this community has grown that like I've begun on Twitch is mind blowing to me, and I seriously cannot wait to continue growing that community because I have such a great audience. Like my chat is wonderful. Like they're all wonderful people, and they like just make my day every time I hop on, and we just like have such a great time together. It's great. I play tournaments. They enjoy watching me play tournaments, and they all support me, and it's such an experience, and I love Twitch so much.
Yeah, well, a couple things to touch on that, because I've seen you stream a couple times on the Twitch. I've seen you play some tournaments. I've seen like some commentary come out of it. And when I put something in the chat, I have to pray that if the chat can slow down enough so that you can see my message, because I think that was one way I contacted you to be able to get on my podcast, was to make sure that you see this message on it, because I know you don't usually like hit your Facebook Messenger a whole lot, at least for me anyway. So I just wanted to make sure that let's use the chat. Like, please don't sort by, because it goes so fast. You got a lot of people who stream your videos.
Yeah, I am very fortunate to have people that really enjoy my content and always make sure to stop by whenever I'm live.
Yeah, and it's a really smart thing for you to do too, because again, you're a national champion, you're a YCS champion, so I'm sure that a lot of people are going to want to watch you, like see like how your mind operates when you're dueling, like especially since you've only been in this game for 5 years and you've accomplished like a plethora of achievements that like only so many people can dream of. So I can imagine why your channel would be so popular, and it's an untapped market for you that you could totally take advantage of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been a wild ride this past month for sure. But honestly, like I just can't wait for the future. I have so much more planned, and I can't wait to like for events to come back, because I'm going to work so hard on my YouTube. I can't wait to see what's to come. I'm very excited, and like to continue streaming on Twitch, because like it's been a blast, and I can't wait to keep on doing it and keep growing this community. Mm-hmm. The growth has been insane, and I just love seeing new people join every day. And I'm basically just making more friends. It's great.
And you can find Gabriel on Twitch TV/Gabriel Zombie. Bay was spelled BEI. I'll put that in the link in the description below. I've enjoyed watching those streams. And you also play a lot of weekly tournaments online during your stream.
Yeah, a lot of people tune in for those. I think people just like a lot of people say they just enjoy watching me play, and I guess it's they want to see how I look at things and my perspective of like my gameplay, I guess, because I guess a lot of people don't really get to see that, and it's a great way for people to learn more about the game. And a lot of people mention they learn a lot when watching me, so I guess I just try to be entertaining.
It's speaking of like teaching people how to play. You're also part of the Duelist Academy, like Yu-Gi-Oh coaching that Jesse is also a part of as well.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, so tell me more about what goes on in this coaching.
It's part of the reason why I'm so busy now. I am in charge of the YouTube and making videos for the YouTube, and I've been very busy with that. We are looking to sort of branch into more social media in order to mainly advertise, but also like upload more content, because I truly believe we upload some of the most valuable Yu-Gi-Oh content like on the internet. And the more people see it, the better it is for the game, which is why we do this, is because we love the game. This like when Duelist Academy initially launched, I wasn't even a part of that, and I already knew this is the best thing for the game, because it offers something that like no one has ever like done before, really.
And go ahead, sorry.
So yeah, I'm in charge of the YouTube. We are also live streaming now. I don't really live stream on it as of lately, as I'm quite busy with my own live stream. But yeah, they are live streaming a lot, which is great. A lot of people love watching the lives. We do a lot of community posts, community tournaments on our Discord. We now host Discord tournaments, which is also great for people in the Discord server. We basically have a Discord server. I think it's only $5 to join it on our Patreon, and it grants you free entries to our weekly tournaments. We have like box tournaments, and they're all free entry. And yeah, I truly love Duelist Academy, and I love being a part of something that's so great for the community. And I get to, like, my students just become my friends, and it's just so fun being able to like be a part of something like this.
How did you get invited into like being a part of Duelist Academy?
So they knew about me because of my content, and they saw what I was able to do with Twitch, with YouTube, and I applied as a deck doctor. If you don't know what deck doctoring is, it's basically a service we provide on our Patreon. If you once per month, you can send us a deck list, and we basically make a deck doctor. And what a deck doctor is we basically take your list, we improve it to the best of our abilities, and we give you an in-depth explanation to like what changes were made and why the changes were made, along with how to side deck with the list, any necessary combos. And like, it may seem like not too much, but I'm telling you, it is some great content. And it is honestly, like, having worked on them, like, it is actual, like, really amazing pieces of content. Like, a lot of people don't know, but we are writing like full on like 5-page essays. Wow. Going in depth about the decks, and like, people learn a lot about their decks by doing one of these. So there was a post made on the Facebook page, basically looking for applications for people to work on more deck doctors, because they were getting so many, they needed more people to work on them. So I applied, and I honestly think I did a fairly good job with my application. And I managed to get the role. And from there, we spoke, and they decided that I would be a good candidate to host or to run the YouTube along with begin the Twitch. And that's how I got where I am now, I guess, because of my my ability to, edit and film, I guess, because I will be also filming for them, like, as a photographer. I'll be like the Duelist Academy photographer and videographer whenever we're able to travel again. So I guess that's where I got to the position I am now with Duelist Academy.
Would you say that this column is a big success for Duelist Academy?
Pardon me?
Would you say that this column, like the Deck Doctor, is a big success for Duelist Academy?
What do you mean exactly?
Like a big success. Like, are you getting like a lot of people like asking for the Deck Doctor advice? Like, you're getting a lot of hits?
Yeah, like, people love them. I think I truly believe like it is such great content, especially for the price. Like, one thing I really like is getting bang for your buck, and that is bang for you're getting the bang for your buck. Mm-hmm. You're getting like great value in what you're like. It's a great service. That's why I like it so much. But there's so much more to it. Like, not only are you getting these deck doctors, you get access to the Discord, which is full of there's like chat rooms in the Discord that they go in depth about every single deck that you could think of.
Yep.
I'm talking every single deck you could think of. And there are people that are all just want to learn. And it's such a good environment for people that want to learn. And you get access to weekly tournaments that are great. Who doesn't want to play in box tournaments that are free,
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So you said this is taking like a lot of your time up. So how else do you feel like the rest of your time, like outside of Yu-Gi-Oh?
Honestly, with COVID, I don't really have a social life. I also don't want a social life. A lot of my school friends that, don't even barely know what Yu-Gi-Oh is outside that I play it.
Yeah.
Always are inviting me to like hang out. And I'm like, I love you guys, but I'll hang out with you guys when there is no risk of getting a potential virus, because I am not interested in catching it at all.
Would you call? Go ahead.
I'm quite comfortable at home.
Would you call yourself an introvert?
No, not at all.
Not at all?
I'm definitely an extrovert.
Oh, okay.
But at the moment, I just do not want to leave my house.
Yeah, I hear you on that one. I mean, like, I would love to go out and like be with friends, like play Yu-Gi-Oh in person right now, but because there's still that risk, I'm like, I'd rather not. I'd rather just do my part as much as I can, so that way I can go back to enjoying doing all my extroverted activities. So I'm completely with you on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm pretty sure you told me that you're also a gamer as well, right? Just outside of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, I love gaming. Like my stream. One of the reasons why I love my stream is because they're not. I'm sure a lot of people are there for the Yu-Gi-Oh, but it's getting to a point where they don't see me as a Yu-Gi tuber. They see me as a content creator, and they just like what I'm trying to aim to do with my Twitch is I want people to join because it's me, not because I'm playing Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
And it's really getting to the point where it's like that. Like I have built, me and my friend group will just go live and we'll just stream us hanging out, playing Dueling Book. And a lot of it's just us bantering and interacting with the chat. And it's great. And people are like, they're so comfortable. We're basically, we recognize all the names every night. And like everyone just like loves hanging out. And they all like, they would suggest like, hey, play this horror game, or hey, play this. And it's last night actually we were playing, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yep, I haven't played it, but I'm well aware of it.
That is a horrifying game, and my chat, I will not say the word they called me, but in a very friendly way, they called me a rude word because I am too scared to play this game. But I'm giving it a go every night. I'm trying to get a step closer to beating it, but it's been a lot of fun. And yeah, I really do love this community, and because they like me for me, not because of my brain, I guess.
Yeah, and this is the kind of a point of why I wanted to do this podcast, is because like we know we can only see so much of somebody, like just like in the Yu-Gi-Oh blogs or on the streams. We don't really know so much about people kind of outside of the game, because I'm sure all of us have a life outside of the game, and that's kind of something I wanted to divulge into, especially. Again, like you're the only person so far on the podcast that I don't know too well outside of it. So it's kind of another reason why I wanted to bring you on here, because I just wanted to know you better, for one thing. So what other games do you like play on your stream exactly?
Honestly, I haven't played too much on my stream. I played Destiny 2. I am really into this game. One of a good friend of mine, he goes by Drewski. He's been on my Twitch a bunch. He's actually a professional Destiny player. He's a professional streamer. Like he does this full time, and he's helped me a lot with my Twitch. And it's like why I think I've like done such a good job with Twitch. And like, I feel like the quality of my stream, thanks to him, is very high. And he's given me all the advice that he's learned throughout his experience on Twitch already. So I feel like because of that helped me a lot. So because of him, he was able to introduce Destiny. I mean, he's a pro, so he was able to show us the ropes on Destiny, and it's been a lot of fun playing this game. There is just so much content throughout this game that me and my friends all love, and there's like so much that we all do together. And yeah, this is a game that through quarantine, I guess, has like we've just been playing on all our spare time.
Do you think like you'd be like a pro gamer if you weren't like a professional Yu-Gi-Oh player?
I have no idea. I probably I wouldn't be able to tell you. But I feel like maybe I'd try. I don't know if I'd be good at it. Yeah, I'm like so. I'm good. I'm good. I'm not bad, but I'm not amazing.
Okay. Now you mentioned earlier that you were into like the photography, the video, and the editing, and I'm pretty sure you're graduate. You've already graduated high school, right? At this point in time.
No, I actually never graduated high school.
Oh,
I'm going for a GED because school is just never really worked for me.
Okay, well, it's not for everyone. I mean, I know like one very successful journalist that like dropped out of school at 14. He's a very famous journalist. His name is Tim Pool. So it's not for everybody, which is like no shame in that. But like, after you get your GED, like what's in the future for you, or do you have any idea?
I'm not sure yet. I think I want to go to college, but I'm honestly not sure. At this point, I kind of just want to see where being a content creator takes me, because I feel like this is something I love so much. And if I don't at least give it a really good attempt, I will spend the rest of my life wondering, like, what if, like there's a lot of what ifs in life, but I feel like for me, in my eyes, there are certain what ifs that I don't want to ask myself what if. I want to find out, like, what if I do this.
Of course, absolutely. And I'll share this little anecdote with like my personal experience with you, is that 10 years ago, I think I started, and I had about like 1,300 subscribers. I stopped roughly about 5 years ago, but really stopped 7 years ago. I only put 2 videos in that 2-year span. And then I went to university, I went to college, and I did journalism, broadcasting, and this was a big reason why I decided to come back out with the podcast, because I have a journalism background, a broadcasting background, and like Yu-Gi-Oh is still a big part of me. I thought, why not put this together? So if you do find yourself that you do want to go to school and like for this stuff, and if you come out of it, like you could know so much more, but but this is like getting your foot in the water right now and just testing out and see how it goes. And if this is something for you, then like absolutely, maybe you could decide to go to school for it, learn, and maybe become like a big content creator. I mean, you already have a big following as it is, so I think this is a really good untapped market for you if you actually decide to like fully go through with this.
Mm-hmm. I think at this point I'm committing. Like, I've committed to the play, as a Yu-Gi-Oh player would say.
Already made your normal summon.
Exactly.
and go ahead.
I don't want to live my life wondering. Like, that's not what I want to do. Like, I'm going to attempt, and if I fail, I fail. But no harm in trying at this point. I really believe I am young, and I have a lot more time than people. I believe I have a lot more time than a lot of people say kids do these days.
Absolutely. You're not even in your 20s yet, so you absolutely have a tremendous amount of time. I mean, I dropped out of school. So I dropped out of university twice in the span of the first 4 years. I took 6 years off, and I went back and did another 4 years. Now I've got a degree, I've got a diploma, I've got it all. So, it's never too late for you, even if you fall down a couple times. And like, I'm going to tell you, like, I'm one of those people that have had that, been knocked down several times. So like, don't worry about that if you like quote unquote fail. I don't see how you can fail right now. If you just persevere, I don't see how you can fail right now because of the following and because of like the credentials that you have behind you. So then like, I fully get it, and I'm like I'm fully behind you on all that if you decide to go for that.
Yeah, no, that's definitely what I'm going to be attempting.
Yeah, it'll be great, man. Because like when I go on your streams, like the chat is flowing through like crazy, and people love watching your stuff, and people love going to you for the Duelist Academy, man. Because you're a big name. Like people know that you're like really good at the game. They're not thinking that you're just some scrub, you're some random. Like you have some real legitimacy behind this game. So I think that like going into this would be like a really good idea for you, and I hope that. You do well in this, that you can you find your calling, because you're still 18. You're still young. You might take a couple cracks. I mean, when I was 18, I thought I wanted to be a lawyer. That didn't happen, but that's okay. I'm still a journalist. I have a college education. I'm not ashamed at all what happened, really. So like for you, you're young, you've got time, but just so long as you commit. That's the big thing, though.
Yeah, I'm honestly super excited for what's to come. I feel like I found my passion, and I have the cards, and I just can't wait to play them as soon as COVID's over.
Yeah, really. I mean, and again, like you're at the height of you're in the prime of your skill right now. So like, this is probably the best time to do this. I mean, I started this podcast in the middle of COVID. You're streaming in the middle of COVID. It's really, in a sense, it's kind of a blessing in disguise, because it's opened up like a big avenue for both of us right now. And already I'm seeing your Twitch channel right now. You said you started like a month or two ago?
A month, and either a month or a month and a week.
And you've already have 905 followers, and that's pretty huge considering how short of a time that you've been on this.
Wait, is it at 900? Am I at 900 followers already?
I'm at 905. I'm looking at it right now as we speak.
Holy, I'm almost at 1,000. That's crazy.
I know, right? And again, man, it's it's the legitimacy and the credentials that are carrying you right now, in my mind at least. Anyway, and like I haven't seen any of your gaming videos yet, and like I've seen some of them are like 7 hours long. Like, oh boy, I'm seeing some Sword Art Online that you're doing.
Oh yeah, that was a game. It was a game based off an anime that me and my friends were pretty hyped for because we love the anime so much.
Yep.
And unfortunately, it was a bit of a disappointment. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh really? Oh,
but it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, gaming at this point, it's kind of just like I just do it because I find it so fun to like just lose myself in like this world and just like being honestly like single player stuff is like cool, but like the thing I love about games is how it brings people around the world together, and you guys just get to like have so much fun together.
And you've kind of done that in Yu-Gi-Oh! In a sense that you've been able to travel the world and you've been able to meet so many people, as you've told me.
Yeah, it's so cool, man. I have so many friends all over the world, in Europe. I have a few Japanese friends. I have a lot of friends in Europe that I'm very proud of to be able to call them my friends. And you know, South America, I have so many friends in the States. It's really cool to be able to, say that.
Yeah. So this is a question I always have to ask everybody who does like what you do, is keep like traveling all around the world. Obviously, the 2 worlds that you went to, they were obviously footed for and paid for by Konami. But like, how do you amass like all like the funds to be able to travel to like every single different event and be able to like play in all of these?
Well, unfortunately, I haven't been able to travel to every single one like I would want to.
Yeah.
But I was working for quite a bit to, save up money to do all this because it's, even when I was just playing events, like I just did it because it was so fun. When I was younger, I was blessed to have support from my mom to continue doing this.
Oh, that's nice.
But now hopefully as a content creator, I will be able to do this and be able to travel every event with, and keep on filming every event and maybe possibly do this full time. That's my goal.
I mean, that would be fantastic to do. I mean, that's kind of the dream, isn't it? Oh, excuse me. Oh, geez, I just had my question on me and I just lost it out of nowhere. Yeah, it happens. I know. But like, I mean, the traveling has to be like so much fun, and I'm assuming that's something you enjoy doing.
It's why I love the game so much, because if this game didn't have me traveling, I probably would have quit a while ago. It's the fact that this game keeps on bringing me to new places and I get to meet more and more people that it makes it so enjoyable. Like I was able to I've been to Berlin, Tokyo, Rome, Paris, a bunch of Mexico, like a bunch of places in South America. All because of this game, and that's something I just would not have been able to do if it wasn't for Yu-Gi-Oh!
And that's honestly one of the
at
18, yeah, which is remarkable and like a great experience that you're like fully living your life at this age, and like you have so many more years ahead of you. I mean, it's one of my favorite things that I love to do when I play this game. I love traveling because like I'm a big foodie as well, and I love to go like eat food and like a different place. Like for example, if I go to Philadelphia, there's no way I'm leaving without getting a cheesesteak. For one thing, and if I go to Chicago, I have to have like Chicago deep dish. It's just it's example like that.
Deep dish.
Pardon me?
I love Chicago deep dish. I haven't had it in a while, but when we went, there was actually a YCS in 2018. Yeah, 2018. There was a YCS in Chicago, and we had deep dish. It was so good.
Yeah, I absolutely love deep dish, and pizza's not one of my favorite foods, and I don't typically get excited for pizza, but Chicago deep dish is one that I get so excited for.
You have to. It's amazing.
Exactly that, and that's one thing I love about this game is the travel, the sightseeing. Because I love the time that you get when you're not playing Yu-Gi-Oh as well, because that's so much fun. Are you?
Yeah, like even the road trips, with the boys. Those are always so fun.
Absolutely.
Kick it, blast music. One funny trip I was with 2 of my friends and Jesse. We were doing originals. And we just started blasting. As a meme, we started blasting Take Me Home, like the country road song down
Oh,
the
yep,
highway.
with John Denver. Yep.
Yep, it's like silly things like that just created a hilarious memory that we will never forget.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, I'm sure many of us have like wonderful travel stories. I mean, I know I've got a bunch, but that's not why we're here to listen to my travel stories. It's more yours. But there's so many memories that you create from this game, and there's some people that like I would always see at regionals, but like I wouldn't talk to so much, and then all of a sudden we would like be on a road trip together, and then all of a sudden we become like really tight friends for the rest of our lives, and I'm kind of been the same way for you.
Yep, that's happened a bunch. I don't really know someone. We go on a trip together. We're homies now.
Yeah, absolutely that. And like for me, for example, my family would go to Syracuse, New York a lot because we have family there. And I decided to go to the locals there because, being with my family at that point wasn't like the most fun. There wasn't really much to do. And then I made so many friends there. So every time I go to Syracuse now, I would just hang out with all my Syracuse friends and go to locals. I went to a Rochester regionals with them once and I topped it. I'm like, I'm so glad that I made friends like with this game. And I don't know where I'd be in my life right now without playing this game. And I'm sure you feel the same way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. I don't want to imagine my life if I wasn't playing this game. I genuinely don't think I'd be as happy doing what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, and I completely agree with you. Not to like, especially with all the success that you've had, like I can completely understand like how this game has become like a major part of your life, as it always has been for mine.
It's been an incredible journey that I'm so like. I feel very grateful for what I've achieved so far, and I am just going to continue working hard to be able to continue doing things like this.
And it still astounds me that you're 18, turning 19 next month. Usually, like players are like again like in the, like their mid 20s, like around that age, and like that's where they start having kids. They get like a career or something like that, and they don't have as much time for Yu-Gi-Oh. As opposed to you, you're still 18. That you have a tremendous amount of time and still all that potential and skill that you really have, and you can probably like ride the success of this game for many years because you have all that time.
Yeah, I do intend to keep on doing this as long as I can. Honestly, like I've gotten the question a few times, like how long do you see yourself playing Yu-Gi-Oh? And the honest answer is like as long as I can. Like I love this game. Like even less about the game, like I just love traveling and being able to like going forward. I'll be making content all the time, which is something I'm very excited to do. But just like being able to like see my friends is another great story I have is I went to a YCS in Peru 2019 around November. I unfortunately got robbed, which is not yeah, I lost a lot of money, which was definitely heartbreaking. And there was a YCS that came up a few weeks after YCS Pasadena in California. And California, everyone knows it's a beautiful city. I have so many friends there, but I had no motivation to go, and I just didn't want to go really.
Yep.
So I didn't book the flight. And Friday, the day before the event, I got a call from one of my friends at reception, and he goes, "Why aren't you here?" And I explained, I'm like, I don't really want to play at the moment. He says, "Well, I miss you. We all miss you. All my friends were together. Like, everyone was just like, Manav Dewar, a very good friend of mine. Everyone was just there." And I'm like, fuck, man. Like, in that moment, I'm like, I really, really wish I was there. So I decided, hey, I have no cards on me, but I'm going to book the flight and go anyways. So I landed Saturday morning, and I just hung out with all my boys the entire weekend. We went to a bunch of restaurants together. Had some of the best French toast there. Me and a bunch of friends actually went to Mexico.
Oh, wow.
After the YCS, just to celebrate. It's not really celebrate anything, but like just to like hang out.
Yep.
A lot of fun. We had street tacos. If you haven't had street tacos in Mexico, if you're ever in Mexico, get street tacos. They are amazing.
I've had it in LA, but I haven't been to Mexico yet.
They're not the same. They're also like ridiculously cheaper.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
Yeah. So like, and then I also just stayed in LA for 2 weeks. Actually, I took a little vacation off. I stayed at a friend's house, and me and my friends just had such a great night hanging out every night. some nights we were just like, let's just fucking watch a movie tonight or something. Or, let's go out. Let's hang out with people. Let's go to a restaurant, stuff like that. Let's go meet up and get get yogurt, like frozen yogurt.
Yep.
And it was a great 2 weeks to say the least. I didn't even play the event.
Los Angeles is one of my favorite cities. I usually go there annually, and I love going there. Like, what are some of the fun places that you did when you were in LA?
Definitely a lot of the food there. The food there is very good.
Oh yes, it is. 100%. Did you go to Universal at all?
No, I did not.
Oh yeah,
I've never been to Universal. I definitely should.
Yeah, because there's Universal there, and then there's Disneyland in Anaheim, which is like 45 minutes away from there. So and Knott's Berry Farm as well, which is also a very popular like theme park, because I believe it's the first ever theme park that opened up in the States, something to that effect. So like you've got a lot of like places to go to while you're in LA, and then there's also Little Tokyo. I don't know if you've been there in LA.
I don't think so.
Oh man, if you want sushi, go there.
Okay.
Absolutely go to sushi in the Little Tokyo, because like LA is just off the ocean, so they're gonna get fresh.
I actually just remembered my favorite part of the trip.
Oh yeah, shoot.
So I landed Saturday, and I started talking to some of my friends who I was catching up with, and they told me the night before, so the Friday, the night before their event, they went to a festival, like a music festival.
Yes. And
I'm like, no way, I've never been to one. I've always wanted to go to one. And he says, well, I'm not going tonight, and I have a 2-day pass. Just take mine and go with the group, take my spot.
Oh, nice.
So Saturday night, the night of when I landed, I went to the festival with everyone, and it was such a fun experience.
Well, what kind of festival was it?
Like EDM. Yeah, it's like EDM. A lot of EDM artists.
Okay.
Yeah. And dude, the environment there is crazy. You are like in this, I don't even like, kind of like this area that's like 4 football fields put together.
Oh wow.
And the stages are like so beautiful. The lights and like the lights shows are crazy, and the music just sounds so great. And you're just like, everyone's there just to have a good time, and it's a really fun experience. And like just to be there with all your friends when like you weren't supposed to go was a very very fun time.
Well, I mean, like EDM's like music is supposed to be pretty like pop and pretty vibrant, so it's almost like a big vibe, like a big like rave show almost.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's always popping. It's always upbeat. Pardon me, sorry.
Everyone just is there to have a good time.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. It's all positive. It's all upbeat. It's pretty swinging. So I can imagine like the kind of energy that was flowing through you, because that's what it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What this girl, I had no idea who she was. She just started holding my hand.
Oh,
that was pretty funny. But yeah, that's when I realized, I'm like, wow, everyone's just vibing. Cool. Let's just have a good time. And that was a wonderful night.
Did it go any further than that?
No. No.
Just had to ask. Yeah.
No. It was just like that was the moment though when I realized, I'm like, this is just like I don't know where it's from, but like you know like the things like the meme of like good vibes only.
Yep.
This was actually just like good vibes only. It was just a really fun like experience to like be there and like experience the music firsthand, because like you see like festivals and concerts happen like in real, like on TV and on the internet and stuff, like to actually be there in person when you weren't supposed to be there was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like going to, I don't know if you're into sports or not, but it's like going to a sports event or like something live. It's much more intense. It's such like a much different experience than when you're watching it on like a media outlet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just get to lose yourself in the moment.
Yeah, and I can only imagine that the atmosphere there was like completely surreal for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Oh man, I'd love to go back to LA again for that. And LA is such a great city. I love being around it. Plus, it's also the favorite city of my favorite hockey team anyway. But that's just me. But I'm sure you have a whole other plethora of reasons to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Are you sponsored at all with any team?
I'm sponsored by Dolly's actually.
Oh, really? And how did that
Yeah.
come about?
Sam kind of just introduced me. He said, "Guys, this is like my little brother," and I got really close with the owners. And it's not really so much of a sponsorship as it's like I'm just like close with them, and they help me out, and I do my best to help them out. And I work at the stores sometimes, and they, in return, just like help me out with whatever they can. The owner Will is actually just like he's a wonderful human being. Like I'm so happy
Yes.
to have him as a connection, and like he's just such a great guy.
Yeah, he is. I'm pretty sure he was also at Boateng's wedding as well. And I've been
Was
and I've been to Dolly's myself several times because I have two cousins that live about 10, 15 minutes away from it. So when I would visit them, I would sometimes go to Dolly's as well. They've been nothing but like welcoming, and they've been really cool every time I've went in there. So it's a great shop. I said this to Sam, and I'll say it to you again. I love going to Dolly's, and every time I go visit my cousins, I like to try to be there as much as I can.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I love the Dolly's family a lot.
Yeah.
They're great. They're great people.
Now, I had this funny impression when I first stepped in Dolly's, and I want to know if you had the same thing. Like when I stepped in there, you look to your left, and you see a bunch of like arts and crafts on the left side, and I'm thinking, is this a card shop or is this like a craft store? What's going on? Like, did you notice that at all when you first stepped into Dolly's?
I don't know if they still have arts and crafts. Maybe I've never like acknowledged it. I can't think of. I don't remember seeing arts and crafts in this store, honestly.
Okay, because I know it started out as a craft store, then it branched out to cards. But like, I haven't been there in several years, so I don't know how it's changed. I figured you've been there more recently than I have, so I didn't know if they still had that up there, and if they did, like if you had a weird thought about that.
Yeah, no, they definitely don't anymore. I really don't think. I think I would have noticed that.
Nonetheless, though, it's a great store, and I love playing some of their special tournaments that they have there as well. And it's a very competitive local, but it's also pretty like chill and pretty welcoming at the same time.
Yeah, I enjoy playing there.
Oh, that's good though. I mean, I'm glad like that. Like we got a player like you who's kind of rose from the ranks. Like you're relatively unknown until like 2018. All of a sudden you blasted on the scene, become like one of like the top players in the world right now, and now it's just hopefully get a good showing at Worlds whenever we can get that.
That's my goal. I intend to do the Worlds grind. Hopefully, I honestly don't know when the season will start back up, but whenever it does, I intend to do it, film it, make more content, stream more, and I ideally go back to Worlds and finally get that top. And who knows? Hopefully, be the Canada's first champion besides Sahabi.
I was going to say besides Sahabi, because he's one of them. But hopefully, like no disrespect to Sahabi, but hopefully without having a suspension on top of that.
Yes.
So, but before I let you go, there is also like one other question I wanted to ask you. Is that like, how would you attribute yourself to like your evolution of getting like to be this top tier player all of a sudden out of nowhere within the past couple of years?
I get this question a bit on my stream. I really do think you gotta be able to. I think my mentality was when I was losing. I feel like a lot of people, their mistakes are they're not accepting of losing. When they lose, they take it poorly.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the reasons why I was able to get better was I was able to take my losses very well, and I was always learning. Whenever I was playing the game, I was learning, and I surrounded myself with players who I knew were better than me, and I would always focus on like learning from them. Like whenever I played against Jesse, that was like a learning experience for me. Whenever I played against a player who I knew was exceptionally better than me, that was just another learning experience. And if I lost, I learned a lot from that game.
Oh, okay. Is there anything else that you could attribute it to? What about how much like time you commit to the game? How about that?
I definitely played a lot, and I feel like I learned a lot in this short span of time. Yeah, I honestly think why I got so good at tech. I definitely feel like my strong suit is technical play,
Mhm.
and I feel like the reason why I got so good at that was I was playing Zeus so much against great players at my locals like Jesse,
Mhm.
and I was getting so good at it. I feel like I got a grasp of technical play off of that,
Mhm.
and just by learning more and more, like no, when I was gaining more and more knowledge about the game, I was able to just like pick up other decks even easier and be able to pilot those decks fairly well, which is why when I picked up Goki and I knew like the gist of it, just by playing Nats alone, I was able to learn so much so quickly. I was able to, do what I did with it.
And like, would you say like having these top tier players like around you is like a valuable asset in your learning process?
Yeah, I really think surrounding yourself with better players is how you learn. And losing, I think you have to lose to get better.
Yeah, of course.
But like I said, I think the biggest mistake people make is not learning how to accept losses. A lot of people, have a bad mentality and will just get upset, beat themselves over it, not actually assess why they lose, and it won't really lead to anything other than uh, not really getting anywhere.
That get very defensive about themselves or like shift the blame onto something else too for instead of making being accountable for their own mistakes. Do you see that a lot as well?
Pardon me, I missed the very first part of
Oh,
the
sorry.
sentence.
Like there's a lot of people that are fairly defensive about themselves and they try to shift the blame onto something else for reasons why they lost and don't take accountability. Do you think that that's also like a reason why like people don't get like that much better?
That definitely happens a lot in almost every game.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I feel like now, especially in this current format, you hear it more than ever
Yep.
because this format is full of degenerate combos that, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of the times there's quite literally nothing you can do
Yep.
other than play a better deck or change your deck and make it worse by playing cards to beat the better deck.
Mm-hmm.
Which it sucks to hear as like someone who doesn't want to play the best deck because they want to play like their quote unquote rogue or like off meta strategy. But like sometimes, and especially this format, it's so punishing to play anything other than like a very strong degenerate combo deck.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I hear it now more than ever, especially. But I definitely myself, I am the first one. If I lose to a misplay, I have no problem saying I'm like, well, I threw. I actually
Yep.
did that on stream today. My loss on stream, I fully had game on board, and I threw very hard, and then I lost game 3.
Oh, ouch.
But it's like I literally said, I'm like, it's okay. I learned from it. I actually realized what I did wrong, and now I know in the future from that mistake, and I will not do it again.
Yeah, I can absolutely agree with you on that one. And I've seen my fair share of people who kind of feel lost and like don't know how to get better. Like I'm kind of on that level, except on like a higher level. Like I can top regional consistently, and I've only got like ever one YCS top. So there's like something missing on my end, and I'm sure like I need to learn too, just like everybody else does. Maybe I need you to coach me if I join the Duelist Academy. Maybe we're gonna have to talk later on that part.
Sounds good.
All right, man. We're in the closing minutes of it, man. Is there anything else you want to say that we haven't maybe touched on yet?
Honestly, I think we got through a lot today. We talked about a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, like this is the first time I've actually got to sit down and have like a real conversation with you instead of just saying, "Hey, what's up, Gabe? How you doing?" And maybe make like the random comment on one of your posts or vice versa. So it was really nice to be able to sit down with you and have a nice conversation. Really go through like your evolution, your process into the player that you've become today. And again, you're one of the best now, at least in this. You're one of the best in this country for sure, arguably in the world right now. And it's just amazing to see how someone in such a short amount of time be able to like get to this level and like represent like our country, Canada, just like the way that you do.
Mm-hmm. I definitely enjoyed being on this. I got to talk about some stories that a lot of people haven't even heard that
And that's why I created this podcast, man. It's because to get the stories and get to know like a big taste of you, and I'm glad you came on. I really appreciate it. And again, like I hope your Twitch channel and your future, really takes off, man. Because like again, I'm sub both to your YouTube and to your Twitch. So man, I hope this really takes off for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm very excited for the future and what's to come.
Awesome, man. And that is Gabriel Vargas. He is the 2018 North American World Championship Qualifier champion and the winner of the 2018 YCS Niagara Falls, man. Gabriel, thank you so much for coming on to my podcast and talking with me, man.
No problem. I'm very, very grateful for you having me.
Absolutely, man. You have yourself a wonderful night, bro. Don't forget to like and subscribe. For more information, check out the Gate Expectations podcast on YouTube, Facebook, Patreon, Twitter, and Spotify.